Consent is not body language. Let's get that out of the way.
If you buy a girl drinks, it doesn't guarantee you sex.
When you finance and you think you can have me, then I'm a prostitute.
Women are not meat, so don't marinate nothing.
I didn't ask you to spend your money on me. You made that decision.
That is not a bus ticket.
Normally, if I go out with someone and we're having a drink, I think we're having a drink.
Men have to have their recorders on. That's the only way that you're going to protect yourself.
Then all of a sudden he decided he wanted to have anal. No.
Listen, a guy's got to do what a guy's got to do. That's all I'll say.
The Zimbabwean government announced
Zimbabwe's age of sexual consent has caused much controversy.
Consent is agreeing to take part.
Both parties agreeing to a singular action.
Saying yes and being asked if I'm interested in doing something specifically.
If she came over to your house, it doesn't mean she's giving you consent. If she's dressed in a nice skimpy dress, looking sexy for you, doesn't mean it's consent. If it's a yes with her mouth, then it's consent.
Some of these guys who are coming to, wait, I'm not talking about sexual consent. I'm just, like, first of all, the consent to just go out with my child. What I'm saying is, if I have a baby girl, I feel like you need to respect that. There are a lot of things involved, and it's not just...
There's no stop it, I like it. If someone says no, no means no.
Dates back to the word woo. That meant that if you wanted to get someone to date you, you had to go through the hoops. To buy them flowers, walk with them in the park. But it was a step-by-step that led somewhere. Now, obviously, you are abusing that process where people now think, because I drank your alcohol, I must go home with you.
It doesn't matter the higher, the lower. Girls know from the get-go, they know if you're going to do it. So at times she really could be there just because she's hungry. Or she just needs to be out. She knows. Girls know. So the higher the marination, the lower the marination. Irrelevant.
Me, marination is rape culture. If you cannot make a girl want to sleep with you without you having to drug her or make her get drunk, that's small dick energy.
Half the time, the conversation is had, right? It should be had. It's unpleasant, maybe in some cases uncomfortable, but the conversation should be had. And girls that then wake up and say, you know, you consent to sex and then you then decide to go back and say it's rape, those ones should do jail time.
Consent does apply to both sides of the spectrum. First as a mom and secondly as a lawyer. I'm like, listen, you child, if a girl just touches, if she just so much as, you know, kisses you, that is sexual abuse. We must run.
Because there's a thing as body language. If, you know, if he looks like he's into it or he wants to do it, and usually guys are very straightforward when they want to smash.
If you buy me a drink, tell me if you're buying me a drink because you think I have an interesting conversation to share with you over the drink, or you think that your drink is suitable enough for you to ask me for sex afterwards. You still have an obligation to ask me.
It doesn't matter what you buy her. It doesn't guarantee you sex. Don't spend on a girl. If the end goal for you is she's supposed to give me something, then look for someone who's already on the job.
But it's just taking it back to the basics. Do you want a cup of tea? No. Do you want a cup of tea? Yes.
The problem is people have just been made to see the one side, you know, and guys must get that they can also say no to sex. You say no to sex.
Like from the start, you was kind of like, if you know things can get a bit to get to a place you're not comfortable with, maybe don't be in a private space with a person.
Things that men don't get is that after the drink, if the answer becomes no to that option, it's still no, you know, and they get upset because they've spent their first drink without having to tell you that, oh, I bought the drink because intentionally I just wanted to have sex. If men said that, most women would say no to the kind of drink that they're offering. Simple.
Consent starts even from a grassroots level, just a relationship, all the way up to marriage. That's why there are terms like marital rape now. If I do not want to give you and I'm your wife, yes, I have not given you conjugal rights, but guess what? I have the right to give consent even to a man married to me.
If it's sex, you have the conversation that yes, I'm interested, and then you come together. That's consent.
If we're dating, it's not going to be as transactional. You know, if you do things for me, I'm going to feel loved by you and I'm going to want to express my love to you physically, sexually, verbally, however.
I feel like we now have to be very drastic. You actually need consent forms. Get them on Google Form, get them certified if you need to, have your recorder on, because it's so tricky. And take out the V11s, send the voice notes, put them in your Google Drive, have the chats, screenshot them and have them in a folder, because you never know. 10 years down the line, someone will just be like, this is what this guy did to me. But you're like, but we were, you know, on the same page.
People should have consent forms signed by their mothers, by their fathers, because some of these guys will come, I'm a mom. Like, so what I'm saying is, if I have a baby girl, I feel like you need to respect that there are a lot of things involved, and it's not just you wanting to fulfill a sexual need. If I should put consent away from the sexual term, it must come to consent for you to actually date that person.
Consent form, because this is a human interaction.
Consent forms are just being dramatic, guys. Unless it's transactional, unless it's a prostitute, you can have a consent form with a prostitute to say, oh, I agreed to give him this service and this service and this service, then all of a sudden he decided he wanted to have anal. No.
Still, there's no time for consent forms. At that time, it's only one thing working, and it's not the mind.
Think about it in wildlife. The lionesses would check out to say, can this male take care of the seed that we want to populate? And so it's an issue of security. So when you shower a woman with gifts and money and stuff, you've shown her that you can be secure. I'm stable. And so that doesn't equate to, like, then you can just have me, whatever. Even if I do like you.
Your obligation is not to take care of the woman. However, if you do have the finances, you show that you can by preparing for the future, because nobody gets into a relationship hoping that it ends next week or next month. You're all looking at this could be a potential life partner.
Consent should be equal, because if I come onto you and you're not feeling me, even if you end up doing it because, oh, like what guys say, oh, I felt sorry for her, or I was just horny anyway, or whatever, you're not gonna really enjoy that experience, because he's just doing you for the sake of doing you, because you're there, free meat, whatever. I do understand that there's a blurred line where we can meet and I'm like, oh my gosh, baby, I can't wait to see you. I really want to, like, you know, right? And then I get there and then maybe like the mood changes. We kiss, we touch, and then I realize, I'm actually not feeling this. You should have respect to respect that decision and not try to force things to happen.
I feel like, to be safe, if the no aspect of the conversation comes up, do not pursue it. That's how people end up in situations where she says, no, but you took advantage of me, you did this, you did that. So as long as there's a no that comes out there, do not do it.